Alright, welcome back to the review, and this little walkthrough, we're walking through the Versus system. And again, as I've made clear on my previous videos with the Versus system, I've never been a huge fan of the game. I can enjoy it for the game mechanics itself, and so I do have that, and also because of the Rift incorporation, I have a deck. But as far as Versus goes, just so you guys can judge for yourself and see if you like it, again, I reviewed it, and here's the walkthrough. You go ahead and start with drawing 4 cards. Now I'm going to have my draw deck here. I'm going to just bring out my resources as I play them right along the side here. And so that means that in turn, I'm going to have my support row here and my front row here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my beginning hand of 4 cards. 2, 3, 4. There's not much I can play right away, so I am going to mulligan. I'm not too keen on that. So we're going to mulligan this. So mulligan it is. And hopefully we get a better spread of cards, I should say. That would be a much better thing. That's what I'm hoping for. So, alright, so let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. That's a little bit better for card spread. I'm a little happier about that. Alright, so I mulliganed, we're both ready to go, we're going to start. We'll say that I have initiative for the example. So first thing you do, you draw 2 cards, and this again is something that you and your opponent will both do in the turn. So I drew 2 cards, and then you're going to put any one card down here in your resource row. I personally do only locations and plot twists if I can, because those aren't wasted being in the resource row. So I'm going to go ahead and put down my Mutant Supremacy down, so I have 1 resource. Now we go to the normal part where it generates the resource points, so it generates 1 resource point. I do have a force field for one that I could play, but I don't have a character to play it on, so I'm going to have to just not play anything. So I'm not going to play anything. I don't attack, I have nothing to attack with. Then initiative goes to my opponent, and he gets to go ahead and do his build step, put down a resource, do the build step, and attack if he wants to. Let's say he also had bad luck like me and he didn't draw anything. So we're going to go ahead, and then we're both done and go to the new turn. So we both draw 2 more cards. Alright, so we both draw 2 more. And I'm going to go ahead and it's his initiative, so let's see, he does that, so he doesn't have anything to put down. So, let's see. Alright, so I'm going to put down this as my resource. So I have 2 resources, it's going to generate 2 resource points. So I'm going to go ahead and play Avalanche. I'm going to put him into the field. Now Avalanche is someone I'm going to put in the reserve, because he's not really meant to be a frontliner, he's meant for the game effect only. And that's that. I'm going to go ahead and I don't have anything to do as a game effect with, so I may as well go ahead and attack. So I'm going to turn Avalanche, and he's going to attack. He's going to do 2 damage to my opponent because he has no one to block with. And then it's now the new turn because he started, but he had nothing to attack with. So now we're on to drop 3. That's the way they phrase the different turns. So draw 2 cards. And then I'm going to play... so now it's back to me. It's turn number 3, so it's back to me for initiative. So I'm going to play my resource. So I have 3 now, and I'm going to go ahead and play Mammox. He's going to play in the front row, and he is now guarding Avalanche. So now if someone wants to attack Avalanche, they're going to have to use flight. Someone with flight is going to have to fly over Avalanche, or he's going to have to try and break through a Mammox. But then he goes ahead and he can do his build step, and now we get to the attack. Let's say he's able to drop someone that is finally able to drop someone, and it's someone who's a 4/4, for example. It's my turn initiative. I can go ahead and attack that one person. Let's say you put the person in the reserve, in the support row, I'm sorry. So since there's no one in front of that character in the support row, then Mammox can attack him even though he's in the support row. Because at this point, if you have one character, it doesn't matter. because he's completely exposed. So he puts on the support role, but I have Mammox, who is in the front line. So when he gets to the attack step, I'm going to attack. I'm going to swing with Mammox. And then he's going to go ahead and he's going to have to try and block with him. So he's going to block him. This character that he blocked with is... sorry, we're saying the character is a... so this character is a 4/4. So we compare numbers. So that means that I would go ahead and Mammox would be stunned. So I'm going to go ahead and stun Mammox. And that means that I am going to lose 3 endurance because he costs 3 resources. So I'm going to get stunned. Mammox is, so he's going to go ahead and flip over to show that he's been stunned. And then the person that he had, who was a 4/4, would also be stunned. Let's say he costs 3, just like Mammox did. So that would mean that that character would now lose, the opponent would lose 3 endurance. In addition, there was 3 over, because 4 versus 7 attacks, so there was breakthrough of 3. So in total, you would lose 6 endurance. So we fought, we both mark our endurance lost. I lost 3, he lost 6. So we mark that. And now we then get to our, so that was the build, the resource, generate, build, attack. Now we get to the recovery step. Now we both have only one character that's been stunned, so we can both recover them. Unless I have some way of changing that, which I don't. Which I don't. So that means we both recover. So when they recover, they can flip back up to the front, back over, and then we're gonna ready them. All right. So now we go to the new turn, and that's his initiative. So I'm going to go ahead and draw 3. He gets to put his resource down and play stuff, and then it goes back to me. I'm going to put 1 down. Alright, so I don't have another character that I can play at this point, but I do have some great equipment to play, so I'm going to put a personal force field on Mammox. So Mammox is now a +3 defense, so Mammox is now a 7/7. And I'm going to put a force field on Avalanche, and Avalanche is now a 2/5. So both of my characters now, that costed only 2 of my 4 resource points, so that does allow me to have a pretty good situation here. So now things are different. It goes to him. And so now I can go ahead and attack pretty easily because I've got some pretty beefy characters now. So he doesn't have, let's say he was able to put down someone for 4 that was pretty beefy. I would still be able to go ahead and go at them really easily. But anyway, so that's, I'd put the equipment on, go to the combat round, and we would do the same thing. We'd exchange combat, and attack. Now, let's say that this round he drops someone with flight. Let's say that, for example. So let's say he did drop someone with flight. Then he could go ahead, and since it's his initiative this turn, he could attack first. So he's going to go ahead and swing, fly over Mammox, and he can hit Avalanche. Let's say the guy he dropped was beefy enough to be able to actually stun Avalanche. So he flies over to stun Avalanche. Avalanche should be costing 2, no matter what his attack is, because I have equipment on here, personal force field, that says that they're reinforced by default. So the most I'll take from losing Avalanche is 2. But he wants to help me lose endurance, so he does it. So I'm going to go ahead and lose endurance. So I'm going to go ahead and he's going to be stunned. I lose 2, but that leaves him open because he did his only attacker. No, actually, I'm sorry, it doesn't leave him open. His attacker had a higher defense than Avalanche's attack. So now, what I would do then in that case, I would go ahead and swing with Mammox. And I would swing and attack Mammox, use Mammox to attack that guy, and that would knock him out. Now, let's say that they didn't have the force field on, okay? Let's say they did not have the force fields on, and he attacked Avalanche. So let's say the person had a 5 attack, that would be 2 endurance loss, and so a total of 5 because it'd be 2 and 3 breakthrough. So if I didn't have that, I would normally lose 5, but I could reinforce. So let's say I had flight attacked, and let's say I didn't have this equipment on there, and he would be stunned. So I'd go like that. But what I could do is go ahead and reinforce. So I could go ahead and take a Mammox, since he is connected to that character, either directly to the side or directly in front. I can go ahead and exhaust Mammox to reinforce. And they can do that because they are both Brotherhood, so they have to share the same team to do that. So that would go ahead and reinforce him. I'd only lose 2. Alright, so that's reinforcement, but again that wouldn't happen in this case because I was able to get a force field on both of them. Let's say that instead we have the same characters out, same resource points, but let's say it was my initiative and he had 1 character. And let's say instead he dropped some character, somehow later in the game he had a character that had a really high defense, something that required more than just 7 attack. So what I could do is I could go ahead and do a team attack, and again they have to share the same team to be able to do this, hence the name of team attack. And they would be able to go ahead and I can say both of them are team attacking. Now team attack characters don't have to be connected. I could team attack with Mammox and someone over here, or someone from here and here, and leave these guys one to block and some other game effect. Team attacks don't have to be connected like reinforcing does. So I would go ahead and I can team attack. If you team attack, you add their values. So that'd be 7, 8, 9. So let's say that he had an 8 defense. That would be enough to get over that character. It would stun them. As a result, though, his attack would be compared to one of these characters. Let's say the attack was a 6. He would not be able to hit Mammox because Mammox is a 7, 7. But he would be able to stun Avalanche. And the attacker would just take the endurance, nothing that's over. So I would lose 2, but then he would lose the total endurance cost for that character. But there's that. So that's an example of situational. Now again, if you have flight and reach, then you can attack anywhere from anywhere, literally, in the system. But so there's that, and then let's go for one more turn. So we're going to go for one more round. That, and I did draw something that I did want to illustrate. Cool. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put down another resource. Actually, if the initiative was mine, I'd start. If it was his, that he would start. But let's say I put this down, volcanic base. Now I want to go ahead and reveal this, and I can do that because the threshold is 1 for the resource threshold. So I can go ahead and play this. Oh. Actually, you can't even see it. I'm sorry. You see the 1, 2, 3, 4. So actually, let me put it this way. Sorry. All right. So I have 5 resources and that location up. It doesn't have an immediate effect. This will allow me to draw more cards if I have no cards in my hand. I hope that gives you a good idea of how the game goes in terms of turn flow and the mechanics and engagement. A lot of the action of the game is in this combat, this intricate support, front row, flight range interaction to make your opponent lose endurance. But I can tell you that in terms of comparing this game to, let's say, Magic, which again, like I said, I have to compare because it's so dang close in terms of a lot of the mechanics and the way the decks work, is that unlike Magic, where you have to have a separate land to generate the mana, and it's all different types and colors. The great thing about this system versus, and again, the customizable card game, not the 2PCG, but this customizable CCG that you saw here, is that any card can be a resource, and it's just a matter of number of points, resource points, not type. So it's all just resource points. It generates it every turn. You're going to be able to drop a card ideally, and just keep on building those up and up and up, and be able to bring out the bigger stuff with each turn. And to be able to have a pretty flavorful interaction with characters. When the characters do interact, so when they do interact, it does get, it is entertaining when they do interact. I'll tell you that. So, but that's my walkthrough for you for Versus. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll try and again, like I said, with the other games that I run, to try and get a full game going with a friend of mine to have that posted. But that's it for the review. Hope you had a nice, hope you enjoyed it, and hope you have a nice day.